I do want to point out that the handles are actually very, very comfortable. I just want you to see side by side. And then the major difference between these two. Hi everyone, and welcome back. Today I wanted to do a first impressions in what seems to be my handbag of the moment. I want to pair her with all of my looks. I want to make sure that I plan my outfits in order to be able to incorporate this piece, and it is none other than my Coach Compass in the size 25. Now I have a few things to go over before we dive into the video. First off, as far as I am concerned, unfortunately this particular color seems to be sold out on the Coach website. I will scour the internet to see if I find any options for you guys and leave them linked down below. Last time I checked, the black in the leather option was still available, but again, by the time you watch this video, that might also change. Hopefully not, and hopefully I could find some options for you guys that are not too overpriced, because we all know how the secondhand market works in that sense. Besides that, I also want to let you guys know that I will be doing a little bit of a comparison between one of my all-time favorite handbags, and that is the Speedy Bandouliere in the size 25. I do own mine in the damier band print, and this is a very classic silhouette in my opinion, and I feel like that is why I was so drawn to the Compass. But I do feel like there are a few differences. As I said, we are going to do a first impressions of the Compass 25 simply because I haven't had her long enough to do like a wear and tear review, but I have had her for a few months, and I have also used her a handful amount of times in order to give you guys some things that I already love about it. Without further ado, let's dive right in. This one here is in the color olive, and I saw this color first time it was released. I absolutely loved it. I felt like the shade of olive that the handbag is a very neutral shade in order for me to be able to incorporate in my wardrobe. Now the handbag is made out of a soft pebbled leather and a refined calf leather. The refined part is the one here that kind of has this detail in the front and in the handle, and then also on the sides in order for you to attach the strap to her. The interior of the bag is in a fabric lining, which I feel is great, honestly, just because it doesn't make the bag too heavy. When you do have a full leather handbag, that can definitely add a little bit of weight to the bag. With that being said, I will pop up on the screen what the weight of this bag is empty. I feel like anytime I get a comment in any handbag review video, you all want to know how much the bag weighs, and honestly I never thought that would be something that people would want to be aware of. But I could definitely see that it does make sense, especially if you want to also consider everything else that you are going to be putting inside of the handbag. Quick tour of the bag. You do have two D-rings on the side, which is where you can attach the crossbody strap. You do have two basically stiff or put or staying still sort of top handles. They are not going anywhere. They're also not going to flap over in order to give you a little bit more space in the top, and we're going to address that in a minute. You have a one-way zipper closure, so it only closes one way. You don't have two zipper tabs. The zipper is extremely smooth. As you guys can see, the hardware on this piece is a kind of like matte brushed silver hardware. It's not very shiny at all, and I really appreciate that, honestly, because I feel like it adds to the muted effect of the handbag color. And then you do have a removable, adjustable fabric strap. So it has fabric, and then it also has a portion of that same sort of refined calf leather here at the end. But as you can see, it is also adjustable, which is really nice. The bag also does come with a small little hang tag here, or luggage tag. It just says Coach kind of stamped there. However, you do have the option in some stores. They give you the option to kind of personalize it and add a few little touches of your own. Last thing about the handbag is that it does have feet at the bottom, which is always appreciated. All right, let's get into kind of like the first impressions of the piece. First off, as I said, I was immediately drawn to this bag just because I really love the duffel sort of style silhouette. However, one main sort of difference that I did notice and that kind of caught my attention a little bit more was the fact that this style kind of seems a little bit more of an east-west vibe. Since the handbag is not as tall as the Speedy 25, I do feel like the fact that it is a little bit shorter in height, it definitely emphasizes a little bit more that east-west style. And I've shared previous videos, so if you guys have been watching my videos for a minute, you definitely know that I am really loving that sort of vibe at the moment. So that is one of the reasons why I was kind of like very drawn to this particular silhouette. From the unboxing video that I did do on this piece, a lot of you guys said, I love the color, I just wish it would have been gold hardware. And I get it. Some of us are very particular in the hardware that we want for handbags. Honestly, I've never been that kind. Yes, there are certain bags that I do definitely want to emphasize what kind of hardware I want. But honestly, for the most part, I am not really picky on the hardware unless it really stands out to me and I'm like, ooh, that hardware color really doesn't pair with that particular color. I don't get too fussy about it, and I totally do not mind mixing metals either. So for that reason, I personally feel that the silver actually goes really nice with the olive, because I do feel like the olive sort of pulls a little bit of cool undertones, and then the silver definitely complements that. In the unboxing video, I did share with you guys what it is that it fits inside. I also have a short that I did do with that as well, and honestly, this little baby packs a punch. They are also a great silhouette to be able to take, like, let's say for vacation, and have an option where you can go ahead and use it as a top handle, taking it into the nighttime. But I also love the fact that it does come with a wide crossbody strap, because it just makes it so comfortable to be able to incorporate during your day outfits. I do want to point out that the handles are actually very comfortable. So they do have this rolled style of handle, and even though they can't go anywhere, I honestly haven't felt them to get in the way when I do need to get my things in and out of the bag. This is an all leather bag, you guys, and with leather bags, I have realized over the years, they kind of start getting a life of their own, and they start like molding themselves depending on the user and what the user prefers. So I honestly felt like as I was getting into the bag, the handles kind of knew to like open themselves up whenever I needed to get in and out. I have seen a few videos where people have mentioned that, you know, the teeth of the zipper can be a little bit uncomfortable. Honestly, I have to say the complete opposite. As I said, even when I was wearing her like crossbody, it was just so easy to like open her up and be able to get my things in and out. You can even see now that the opening has kind of like stayed sort of wide. So it's kind of molded itself into what I have been using it as, and kind of stayed that way, if that makes sense. I do use my bags open, so I do want to point that out because I know a lot of people don't. I love having my bags open. For me, it's just easy. But even if you do need to close it and you need to open it, you know, just for security purposes, which I totally understand and I probably would too. But as I've been using her now, I've never felt unsafe anywhere, so I've just kept her open. I just wanted to point that out. But if you did need to close her and just open her up again to get your things in and out, I feel like the leather is so soft that those handles are just gonna open wide open, and you're gonna be able to get your things in and out very easily. I don't feel like the teeth of the zipper are harsh or are uncomfortable when you get your hands in and out of the bag. As you can see, if it is fully open, like your hand will go in there perfectly fine. It's not like, and the best comparison that I can make is the Alma BB, because I know that the Alma BB has that sort of cinched in silhouette where you, like, the bag itself is molded to kind of like close itself up. So that one is a little bit more difficult to actually make sure that it opens wide and that the zipper doesn't really rub against your hand. This one is completely opposite. So I kind of just wanted to take a moment to address that, because I do feel like that's something that a lot of people worry about, especially when you have handles like these that are not going anywhere. Again, very comfortable, have no complaints in regards to that matter. All right, so let's get into a quick little comparison in regards to both of these bags. And I just want you to see side by side. The Speedy 25 Bandouliere from Louis Vuitton is definitely taller. So that is one major difference that you will see from this bag. As of with, the Speedy Bandouliere is also a little bit wider. So you will have a lot more space in the Speedy B compared to the Compass 25. Another major difference that I do want to point out is the handles. The Compass 25, the handle drop is a little bit smaller. Even though it is still very comfortable to get into the crook of your arm, I did not struggle in that matter whatsoever. If you are wearing a heavy coat, I could definitely see that being a little bit more of a tight fit. but I do feel like it's still very comfortable for you to put in the crook of your arm. Compared to the Speedy 25, honestly, no comparison. This handle drop is absolutely amazing. It is very generous, so it's very easy to put on when you're not wearing a coat, or when you are wearing a coat, it's also very easy to put on the crook of your arm, because again, you do have a little bit more give on the top handle from the Speedy B25. I did want to point out that they both do give us that sort of strap on the side in order to attach your strap to, which I really appreciate, because I do feel that when you just add a D-ring, especially on a leather piece, when you decide to wear it crossbody, I feel like that's just going to pull on the leather, and long term it's going to cause negative harm on the leather piece, let alone if it's a canvas piece. Ultimately, I could definitely see it maybe even detaching from the canvas material. So I really do love the fact that they go a step further and they actually add a full strap here in order to hold the weight of the crossbody strap, whether you choose to wear a crossbody or whether you choose to wear it on the shoulder. Another difference that I do want to point out, and I'm sure that you guys have already picked up on that, but it is the top handles from the Speedy B will drop. So once you wear it crossbody, they kind of just sit flat on the bag, while the Compass 25, the handles, as I said, would just stay upright. I honestly feel like it's super cute this way. It doesn't look bad at all. It's not uncomfortable at all. All right, another major difference that I did want to point out in regards to these two is that the Speedy 25 has no feet at the bottom, while the Coach Compass 25 does have the 4 feet. Hardware is also a difference in regards to these two. We do have like a muted sort of silver hardware for the Compass 25, while the Speedy B 25 comes with gold hardware. And then the last two sort of differences is that you do have a zipper compartment inside of the Speedy B 25, while the pocket that you do have in the Compass 25 is just sort of a button clasp option. And then the major difference between these two, and one that I feel honestly doesn't make a huge deal breaker for me, just because I wouldn't use this piece as a shoulder bag, but I do feel like the Speedy 25 is a great shoulder bag option, that it doesn't make it look too bulky if that is the vibe that you're going for, and that is the strap. So we all know that the Speedy B comes with a 3-part strap in which you can wear a crossbody, you can also wear long shoulder, you can also detach one of the pieces and then wear it as a shoulder option, or you can just hang it and then choose to wear top handle and have the strap available if you want to be hands-free. While the strap from the Coach Compass 25 is just one ongoing piece. However, you can definitely adjust the strap and make it a shoulder option, and it does become a little bit shorter. It's not as short as the Speedy 25, because the Speedy 25 I feel like hits a little bit more comfortable where it lays, while when you do wear the Compass 25 as a shoulder option, it's still a little bit long just for my particular taste. And then last but not least, one major thing that I did want to point out in regards to these two pieces is obviously capacity wise. I mean, the Speedy B25 is honestly like a black hole. I feel like you just keep on putting things inside and somehow or another more space becomes available, while you do start seeing that you become limited with the Compass 25. So that pretty much does it, you guys. I wanted to do a first impressions on this particular piece just because I have honestly fallen in love with it. It's been one of my favorite additions this year, and I am so happy that I was able to get my hands on it. And then I just wanted to share a quick kind of like comparison in regards to the Speedy B25, because I do feel like they could be very similar, but as you guys saw, they have so many differences that I am very content to have both in my handbag collection. If you were able to get your hands on the Coach Compass 25, let me know in the comment section down below. I know that from the unboxing video that I did share, a few of you definitely picked it up, and I was so happy to be able to chat with you guys during that process. As always, I appreciate every single one of you for being here with me today, and I hope to catch you all in my next video. Bye everyone.